This is the oxygen meter. Maker is Toka Soki. Model is TiboXP. I like to share some of my experience about the malfunction of this equipment. I carried out the calibration of the oxygen meter using spent gas, just as we normally do. Everything seemed fine. The oxygen reading settled at 20.9% after calibration. But then, I suddenly noticed something unusual. Air was coming out from the inlet of the oxygen meter instead of the outlet. That means the pump inside the oxygen meter wasn't functioning properly. It wasn't able to draw in any air sample from the tank. As a result, even though the display showed 20.9% oxygen, it would be a false reading. The meter was only measuring the ambient air, not the actual atmosphere inside the enclosed space. This could give a misleading impression that the tank is safe to enter, when in fact, it's not. It's a potentially dangerous situation. At that point, I decided to open up the oxygen meter and inspect it internally to find out what was wrong. I took off the leather cover. Then I opened the two hex screws using an L key. Next, I opened the bottom cover. Now, I'll remove the battery and battery case. I'll remove these three screws so the pump case can be taken off from the upper side. I'll disconnect the air pipe from the connection so I can easily take off the pump case. The pump case is now out of the outer cover. I'll remove this screw that's holding the pump. I'll remove the rubber flap covering the back of the pump, which is held in place with rubber glue. This shining clear plastic flap is the check valve of the pump. This bellow pump has two compartments, each containing one of these, controlling the airflow in one direction and functioning as a non-return valve. I removed the bellow and checked the compartment. I found that the flap was dislodged and no longer retained in its correct position, which is causing the air to come out of the inlet. I then put the plastic flap back in position and locked it in place with the retaining rubber piece. I put everything back in place and tested the pump. All is in good order.